So then I believe we'll start from maybe 16, 17 years old. First real job. And I was going around selling beauty brands. 6 a.m. starts, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. finishes. I mean, great. I then came to Ghana and I did like a feasibility study. Because one thing about me, I will always be humble enough to observe and learn first.
When you came to Ghana, you went back to the UK.
Yes.
And then you came back again. Mm-hmm. Why did you go back and then why did you come back?
I got into an incredibly serious car accident. Mainly my injuries were internal. It was just a very crazy and scary time.
Stephanie Adu is the founder of Colourbox Cosmetics, an outstanding beauty brand in Ghana that offers affordable, high-quality makeup products tailored to the needs of African women. After a successful career in corporate finance in London, Stephanie returned to Ghana with a vision to make beauty accessible and straightforward. Her brand has gained significant traction, reflecting her commitment to enhancing natural beauty and empowering women across the country.
16, 17, around that time, did you have any business running at the time?
Oh, no. And I don't come from an entrepreneurial family either. I was trying to understand really what business is. It was really...
But why beauty?
Because I just loved it. It was just a passion driven. It was purely passion driven. And then, I did a bit of research and there's
one thing I do the most, which is gratitude. And it served me a lot. I think it's one of the wealth principles.
100%.
To appreciate things. Now, I started this podcast because it is something that I believe in. And I definitely thought that you, the audience, would benefit from the conversations that I'm going to have with my people. Now, fast forward, I discussed the idea with people and I have big names on the program. And you guys have been an immense support for Connected Minds. So I want to use this opportunity to say that I appreciate you too and thank you so much for supporting what I've been doing on this channel and on all the podcast platforms. Today I'm seated here with Stephanie Adu. And she is the CEO and founder of Colourbox Cosmetics. She has other businesses that she does. And I'll let that come out of the conversation. But why do I think it is important for you to sit and listen to this conversation? It's because these are people who have done exactly what you are thinking of doing. So listen. And I usually say that if you don't have the time to listen to a 1-hour conversation about somebody that has been through the process where you can learn 1 or 2 principles from, then you're not ready to change your life. You're welcome once again to Connected Minds.
I love that intro and the ending is very true. Yeah. If you don't have the time to sit down and learn from someone that has done what you want to do, you're not ready.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I was saying before the conversation that when I sent you a message about this, in fact, when Della spoke to me about you, and then we started exchanging conversation, I realized very quickly that you are certainly somebody I should sit here and talk to. The energy was great. I've seen your business around and I've seen the videos that you do and some of the brands that you're trying to bring out as well.
Yeah.
And I thought she'll be great on the podcast. But it's synergy, right? You speak to someone, they say, oh, how about Stephanie? And I'm like, yes, I didn't have to say it, right? So thank you so much for coming.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I love also what you are doing as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, talk to me about your beginning.
Oh,
where did you start from?
How far back do we want to go?
Back enough that it's going to make sense with your story of success.
Okay. All right. So then I believe we'll start from maybe 16, 17 years old. First job, first real job. And I was going around selling beauty brands in the highest end department stores. So I worked with so many different luxurious beauty brands and fragrance brands, and I loved it. I saw the engagement that you have with women, like the small trust that you can get with them in like 10 minutes time, the impact that you have on their self-esteem, that connection. I'm really big on connection. So I understand how you feel when you're texting, when you can automatically feel, you know what, this person, I'm definitely going to vibe with them. I like harnessed that from that young age. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to do anything entrepreneurial, it's going to be in the beauty space. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the way it makes other women feel. So then fast forward, I then get the opportunity to be in investment banking. And that's where I got my grit. So I was a sales trader. I was that loud person on the floor saying, buy this, sell that. And it was amazing. I mean, oh my God, it was truly amazing. 6 a.m. starts, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. finishes. I mean, great. Then the credit crunch happened. And I really saw it as a time because I was starting to have conversations with like prominent Black women, and they were saying, you know, I go back home, I go to Africa, and I can't find anything for my skin type. I can't find my makeup products. And if I leave it behind in London and I go there, I'm finished. So I was like, I wonder what opportunities there are in the beauty space. Let's start with Ghana, because back then, you know, naivety and youth, you're like, oh, I'm going to take over the continent. Hey, take your time. Like now I say, take your time. So I then came to Ghana and I did like a feasibility study. Because one thing about me is that I will always be humble enough to observe and learn first. So I was like, clearly there's a setup here already. There are women here, living here, that are happy with whatever beauty products or systems are there. Let me see what exactly is going on. And then from my analysis, I saw, okay, there is an opportunity here because there was either high-end foreign brands or there was low-end China brands in the market. So I was like, okay, I felt like a bubbling where there was an opportunity for brands to be patriotic and for people to get behind and be proud of, and to fill that gap of affordable luxury. So I was like, okay, I believe I can do this. So I actually initially wanted to bring a brand over, learn, and then launch my brand. But that deal fell through. And that's not uncommon. It happens all the time. Very rarely do deals actually go through. So I said, you know what? I've done this. I've done the feasibility. I've done the research. This can work. So I put my money where my mouth was and I started Colourbox.
Okay. I'm going to take you a step back.
Okay.
And that step is 16, 17. Around that time, did you have any business running at the time?
Oh, no.
Okay.
And I don't come from an entrepreneurial family either at all. So it's very foreign. And I was trying to understand really what business is. It was really kind of unattainable to me. It only became attainable when I was surrounded by extreme high achievers in investment banking. And then you realize, wow, if I am good enough to be toe to toe, neck to neck with these people, and their background is very different from me, and their mindset is very different from me, then guess what? I can do it too. And that's what gave me the guts, you know, to be like, you know what, if I'm going to try something, let me try entrepreneurship in Ghana.
But why beauty?
Because I just loved it. It was just a passion driven. It was purely passion driven. And then, you know, I did a bit of research and there are extremely high margins of profit in beauty. And I just thought you could drop me off in a department store in beauty from morning till evening and I'll be a happy lady. So I know, and I knew that entrepreneurship is tough. So you might as well be passionate about something.
So when you were in school, studying pharmacology, you were not thinking of business. You were just thinking of probably finishing and working for one of the big pharmas, right?
Actually, initially I was going to be a dentist.
Okay.
Because again, you can earn decent money and you're with people. So there's like a theme, right? So I was like, okay. But then when I really understood that, you know what, I don't really want to study 5 years, 6 years to be a dentist. I hate school. And I realized in university in the first week that, you know what, this science thing is not for me. So then the rest of like my 3 years, which was in biomedical sciences, especially in pharmacology, I was trying to find another path. And then that was how like investment banking kind of revealed itself to me.
So you didn't actually finish pharmacology?
No, I finished pharmacology.
Right.
And I had to finish with good grades enough to take advantage of the internship at the investment bank. So I was forced to do well in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even at that time, you had no plans of doing any business.
Not a clue.
You wanted to be part of employment
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And because that's all I saw in my family. And I didn't really see anything wrong with it, especially in investment banking. You can earn very decent money working for a structured organization that, pays you very well. So it really wasn't on the horizon. And I had zero immediate examples of how that could be done.
When I ask you this question, do you understand what you've gotten yourself into?
And when I tell you, this is why I really appreciated the naivety. It was beautiful naivety in the beginning. No, I can do anything and that. And I love that. And especially when I see younger people with that, I try to let them hold on to that for as long as possible, because entrepreneurship will do a number on you eventually. But when you have that internally, I can do anything, I can put my mind to something and achieve it. That was the energy that I had. Like, we can actually do this. And so that's what really was like, okay, let's just give it a go. Let's try.
Let's try.
Yeah, let's try.
That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just trying.
Yeah.
And we're still trying.
We are trying every day.
Every single day. But, I'm struggling to get it here that why didn't you run the business in the UK?
Okay. Good question. Because I realized that market was very saturated and there wasn't a lot of room for me to kind of make the impact that I wanted to with the resources that I had at the time. So it then made me look at Ghana as another option to be like, okay, it's virgin. There's kind of little scope of like evidence of really big brands there. So I can go there and be a big brand and put my footprint on the ground and have that impact. And then I can decide, okay, I've got my experience, and then maybe I want to tweak the model and launch it in the UK, or tweak the model and launch it, wherever the demand is. But it was because I wanted impact and I had limited resources. So why not? And I was also really passionate about, the African movement at the time. I was tired of London. I was sick and tired of London, so all those aligned. And I said, why not Ghana?
Why not Ghana indeed? Now talk to me about the things you had to go through to get, the bridges you had to cross to finally say, I am moving to Ghana to do business.
So there was the family side of things. They were like, Stephanie, you have never lived in Ghana before. You barely speak the language. What exactly are you going to do there? So I had to really be like, no, guys, I'm going there for 3 years. 3 years, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give it my best shot. If there is traction and movement, I know I'm doing something and I can push forward. And if there isn't, then I can come back. I was young enough to maneuver, and smart enough. So it was really like a why not? So it really was a challenge because my whole family, again, none of them entrepreneurs. They were like, what are you doing? Why are you leaving banking? Why are you not looking for another job here? And I was like, if not now, then when? It really was that. If not now, then when? Because I know in London life, you can get locked in really solidly.
Well, especially with the type of job you had.
Right.
Right. Pretty good job to have at the time.
Yeah. It's actually well respected and you're just like, oh my God, like, why are you trying to explore? And I was like, nah, I really believe. And that belief like had me in a chokehold. It really did navigate. Like if my neck was moved this way, I had to like go forward. So I'm very, very grateful that I had that beautiful naivety at the time. But that was it. So the parents were one. My then boyfriend, now husband at the time, was not impressed that I was trying to move to Ghana. He was not impressed. So we had to have like those difficult conversations as well. Otherwise, I was more happy-go-lucky, I would say back then. So just let me try, my grandma was around. I had a soft landing. I can come and live with her. I had all that, and on top of that, of course, I had this deal that I was trying to bring over, this new foreign brand. So I felt I had a little bit of a safety net as well. So I think that was really it. So it was more family that were nervous for me.
But you were okay inside.
I was very okay. I was very okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You finally then moved to Ghana.
Yeah.
You came here for 3 years.
Yeah.
What were you doing in that 3 years?
Ooh, I was doing everything and anything to gain traction. I was trying to really understand if this business can work. So humbled myself completely, was going around to every university fair, every shopping mall, every talk that I could just see and talk to women so I can understand, where are you at on your beauty journey? What do you need from me? Are you going to receive me? So it was extremely humbling, but I had to go through that process. I had to understand from the grassroots, is this going to work? Because I'm extremely hands-on even till today. So that was it. I was going around and just making sure, am I wasting my time or is this really going to work?
Wow. And, I guess you got your answer, right?
Yeah.
But I guess, you're still here.
Yeah.
And you're still doing the business. So I guess you got the answer. I don't want to be a step ahead of myself, but when I look at your brand, Colourbox, I look at it as, this lady is such a genius, like brushes, but there's so much noise around it. Right? You could have just had an e-com site in the UK or in the US and just doing drop ship or white labeling, or you could have done that.
Yeah.
But then you decided to move all the way here, set up a brand, market it, talk about it, and create a business out of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And because it was about impact. It really was about impact and community. And I inherently knew that in the beginning, but it came to the realization as I was growing the brand. Because I really do care about the African woman. Like, I really do care about the Black woman. Really, really. So it had to be paired with that. It can't be an empty business venture for me. So that was what kind of really has kept me staying here. And that community that we have built and that buzz that we have built is magical. It's magical. But as you said, it's brushes. It's more than just brushes. Like, someone who doesn't do makeup, someone who, like I said, men will just look and be like, what on earth are these people?
You're staying in Ghana selling brushes, right? I mean, I anytime I see the ads or some of the videos, I'm like, it's brushes.
But it's a safe space, actually. It's a safe space for women. They know that when they come into our community, they have fun, they're not judged, they can be handheld, they're respected, they are honored, they are valued. It is that space that they love. And I'm here and I will engage with them. I am hands-on. I am right here with them. I'm here with them. And so from that, I think that's where the respect came from and the longevity came from. And that's really where the name was kind of built on from as well.
Right, let's talk about the challenges. You just you landed, done all your research. How many years did it take you to research and then to start?
I really wanted to get stuck in as soon as possible. So I think about a year of research, trying to understand what I could do. And then I launched with 3 different products, just to start off. And all the brows were all the craze back then. So I launched with like brow stencils, tweezers, and a brush. Just something to sit the woman down in the seat, talk to them and understand really about them and what they want from the beauty industry. So it was from that. But man, as in the challenges were, first of all, the disappointment of the deal not going through.
Yep.
And having to talk to myself and realize that, okay, you're going to listen and hear, oh, but I told you, you should come back, and put your mind in a place where you can ignore that and be like, no, I have done my research. I know something is bubbling here. So I have to stay and make the most of it. So there was that. Then, of course, the cultural shock. And to anyone that moves to a developing country, that is where the biggest shock is going to be. That's when you pass the 2-year threshold of living here or in any developing country, and you can now navigate, you can now find your way. That is going to tell me when you pass that 2-year mark, okay, that you're ready. You can stay here. You can build a business here. So between those 2 years, that's when we had the 24 hours light off, 12 hours light on. I didn't have a car at that point in time because every single penny of my money was going into the business. Every single penny. So really, I said, completely humbled myself to be like, is this going to work? I mean, cultural is in understanding the systems, how to maneuver your way in the systems, getting the house robbed and then trying to understand, okay, so when your house gets robbed here, nothing really happens. It's all about how you protect yourself, the systems that you have around yourself, the people that you have around you. Know to keep your mouth closed when you're in a taxi going home, not to be over-friendly sometimes, and just understanding how to maneuver your way through systems that sometimes don't work, So that was huge. And then overcoming the loneliness of entrepreneurship. And again, when you come from a huge conglomerate system of banking, where there is every type of department and every type of helper that you could possibly have in order for you to do your job best. And then it's just you figuring things out. And then the mental battle to know, okay, I can actually do this. I'm smart enough to do this. I can figure things out. If I don't know, I know where to go to find it out. And to have that resilience to be like, okay, I can do this and I'm just going to give it my best shot. I said 3 years. And I'm going to stick to my word and stay here for 3 years, no matter what. So that was extremely challenging.
Did you ever get to the point where you felt like, I want to give up and go?
Oh yeah. I think once a year, I challenge myself really. Like, is this still what I want to do? Am I going in the right direction to where I want to be? Because I'm also coming to, at this stage of my life, the ability to pivot and be okay with pivoting as well. So I really do challenge myself because at least once a year, I'd be talking to myself and be like, Steph, is this really what you want to do? But I'm still here.
But what makes you then say that, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to carry on?
A lot of the time is the community that I've built here. I am making an impact. I am helping women, whether it's through self-esteem, whether it's through my products, whether it's through actually the growth that I've seen in myself. And I love that growth and just respecting that I actually do like the life that I have now. So those 3 elements, some selfish, some not so selfish, that bring me back to the point of, okay, you are here. It may not, whatever reason why I'm talking to myself at that point in time, to actually analyze, like just really, really, like third party wise. Is it because something's not working? Is it me just being frustrated? Is it something that I can fix? Is this something I can push forward? Sometimes you don't have someone to talk to about this. It's just you, yourself, and you sitting there talking about it objectively. What is the issue? Is it fixable? Is it a mindset shift? Is it more money? What is it? And so far, up until date, it is always fixable. It's always fixable. It's just my frustrations talking. So it's fixable, and then I'm still here.
I love it. It's fixable indeed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you don't really want to do this, if you don't have the desire and the passion, you can't think the way you're thinking. Because you really wanted to do this.
Yeah,
and what amazes me is the fact that you didn't have a business in the UK.
Not
right. So you had no first-hand business skills.
No,
I may say
not a clue.
You were just challenged by the people you had around you.
Yeah,
and saw that you can also do it.
Yeah,
and then you found something you were passionate about.
Yeah,
followed it through.
Yeah. I said, I that's one thing I do love about myself, the fact that I was able to do that. And when I do see that in younger people, I fully encourage it, because at the end of the day, what is the worst that can happen? Really, what is the worst that can happen? You try, it doesn't work, pick yourself up and try something else. No one is going to say anything. Or if they do say something, it's going to be for 1 minute, and then tomorrow's newspaper is going to come out.
So the biggest issue I have, what we have as a country, and a lot of the young people I speak with, is capital. You had that because of your UK experience. So you had a capital. You came, you just said that it was basically bootstrapped.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
Many people don't have that. They don't have the capital to even start.
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
To be honest, I'm a very realistic person. I say you have to find it. Sometimes it's not the sort of capital that they're looking for is usually the capital that will take them from 0 to 10. But they need to get the capital to take them from 0 to 1. That is where they need to get to. And that you can find. Sometimes it's going to be you sacrificing to build that capital. Sometimes it's going to be, yes, you asking friends and family that believe in your dream, but you can find that 0 to 1 capital. Start there. Start there and see, when you get to 1, now other options open for you to get from 1 to 3 and then 3 to 5. And I'm even there now. At the point in time, next year, I'll be looking for capital to get me to the next point.
Yeah.
So you find it. And it must come from, as a lot of that capital must come from you. You have to put your skin in the game. No one is here to fund your dreams. That's why I said it, but no one's here to fund your dreams. You have to put your money where your mouth is.
I have said that you build yourself to be a certain type of entrepreneur. That people can see the hunger.
Okay.
They can see the thirst. They can see the desire, the passion you have for what it is that you have. And everybody else will be willing to help you on that journey. But if you're just sitting there like this and expecting everybody to come to your aid, it ain't going to happen.
You'll be sitting there forever.
Yeah.
You'll be sitting there forever and you'll be complaining and moaning. And the people that can help you will be looking and say, okay, I guess you weren't ready. Because everybody goes through hardships. Nobody is given this great business that they have built on a silver platter. And I always say to people, God doesn't love you more than me. Everybody went through it. You too, you have to go through it. And it's part of character building. It's part of the things that you need in order to run a successful business. So find it.
Absolutely. I agree, 100%. Now, let's talk about you're finally in Ghana.
Yeah.
You have done your research, you have a business, it is running. Where did you get the ideas of the marketing? Because your style of marketing was very different. Where did you get the ideas from?
I think it has been very natural, actually. And I've been trying to study this, actually, about where this came from. Because I was in science my whole life in school. I then was in finance and banking. I was never in any creative space. But it was somewhere inside, and it was forced out of me. Because of course, when I came here, I did not want to deal with models, influencers, ambassadors. I did not have the time nor the capacity, and I wasn't patient enough back then. I had to learn to expand in my patience here. So I was the face of my brand, and I still am largely the face of the brand. So I had to be creative. I had to find different ways, and I saw people react to my style of how I made them feel.
Yeah.
So from there, just a tap that was kind of opened a little bit, and then it just started gushing out. And now I just have to attribute some of that to God, because I just don't understand where some of these ideas come from, but they come so vividly. They come, and when they settle in me and I know it's a good idea, then I know I can move and it can work. So some of it was just, I think, just being attentive and listening to the feedback. And then some of it was just on there. It's not from me. It comes from a higher power.
Right. And I asked that question because you've now gone ahead to set up another company. A brand marketing company.
Yes.
So I wanted to understand what strategies you think you applied here that can work for other brands.
Oh, I love that. Now, I realized that many people were coming to me and asking for branding advice, marketing advice. They were trying to name me marketing queen, branding queen, and they saw that the sales that we were making from that. So I found myself always giving advice. Then I was like, okay, let me think about how I can document this in a way that can be teachable.
Okay.
Right. So then we were looking at studying what I did that worked, why, and then what formula we can put in place for it to work in other businesses. So that was literally the process.
You're very analytical.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what I've picked from this conversation. You did your research, you're very analytical. And that helps your business.
Yeah.
Because you're analyzing, you're self-analyzing, analyzing the process, the business, the staff, this, coming all together.
I don't like making moves unless I've had enough information. And I'm very conscious that even with the information, things may not still go my way, but I don't like moving blind. I like some visibility. So I need to analyze. I need to look at what is out there. And hopefully that is even, again, rubbing off on my staff because they know I'm going to ask questions. If you're bringing something to me, I'm going to ask questions to understand. And then when I can understand it, then I'll be able to understand if it's a good idea or a bad idea for where I'm trying to go.
Now you've just mentioned staff. I see you have such a good relationship with the people you work with. I see them in pictures, in videos. How did you build that?
Well, it has been extremely difficult. In fact, I think I watched your clip about firing
13 people.
13 people. I can
Yes.
probably top that.
Okay.
I can probably top that. You know, so because there's a specific type of person that I know can work with me. And when I find that person, I pour into that person. Right, so that is me. But if I know you can't work with me, then it's easier for us to part ways. Because what usually happens, and this is very particular to what I found female business owners, because people look at you like a mother figure, they're expecting some sort of motherly love, whereas actually you're a business owner. And so you're really thinking mainly like how they perceive a man to think. So I attract a lot of young ladies to come and work for me because they want to feel close. They want inspiration. They want guidance. They want, proximity. But they get two sides of me. There's the business owner side, and then there's the human side. But the human side is only unlocked when the business side is in a good steady flow.
No, you've done a good work. You've done well.
But I also try for them. I've taken one of my staff to Dubai.
Wow.
I want to be like, whenever I travel, if they've really done well, I'll be buying gifts for them because I do like to show that value. Now, at the same time, if they do something that I don't like, I'm the first one to pull them up and be like, out of love, we're not doing that.
Oh, okay.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But it's that balance that we're trying to establish. And I'm also trying to impact their life. I say, anybody that comes to work with me, you have to leave better than when you came. Seriously. You have to. You have to.
I tried this. It didn't work. There was this young man in 2018. I had a program here.
Okay.
I was doing a mentorship, class, and he paid to come. And when he came in, I was so shocked. I was like, wow, it's beautiful, man. So I decided to bring him on to work with me.
Okay.
It's a long time ago. Fast forward, I realized that, no, this guy is not growing the way I expect him to grow.
Okay.
I invested in his restaurant business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He didn't do it.
Oh, wow.
I still kept him around.
Okay.
I wanted to push him. Fast forward, one of my friends has a tech company in the UK. And what they do is they train people to get into tech, AWS.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? Are you willing to do this? I'll pay for it. I paid over £1,000 for this guy to get a 6 months training. Ask me whether he did it. He didn't do it. I have another staff member who was once the manager of the shop. And I paid every month a course on data analytics on Coursera for her to learn and, improve her life. They didn't do it. Now, I'm only saying this because I want listeners and viewers to understand that there are people who truly want the best for the people they hang around with.
Yes.
And when they recognize you like that and they want to help you, take that opportunity.
Take it, grab it, and don't let it go.
For that reason, unfortunately, the bad apples are messing up the other people coming into my life.
Absolutely.
I've had to adjust things a little bit. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And it's very natural. Everybody goes through this process. Then they moved here. They see potential in a few people. They pour into them. Now, my pouring is measured and it is also with a feedback loop. Because if I see that, perhaps, I have this saying with my staff. I say, if you're a cat, I want you to be the best cat possible. Cats don't like water. Cats are independent. Cats have a flair about them. I want you to be a cat. If you're a fish, I want you to be the best swimming fish possible. Fish love water. They cannot survive out of water. They love to be surrounded by water. So I try to identify, what are you? Are you a cat or are you a fish? And then I try to then guide you in that setting, because sometimes I try to understand myself where I was trying to put something on them that they didn't want. And I did that. And then I learned, just like how you did, I learned that, okay, I'm trying to let this person or trying to force this person who's a cat to be a fish. And that's not working because they don't like water. So let me just push you in that element of where cats, live their best life. And then I realized that I was starting to get the best out of the person. But I was, again, still measured. Now, I don't like to reward bad behavior. That one, dear. I think in this country, sometimes we have a habit of forgiving and even rewarding bad behavior. So I try to, if I am giving gifts, or if I'm buying a course for you, or if I'm taking you guys out to dinner or to the cinema, it's because we have reached a goal. It's because something has been attained. And I'm also okay if someone else didn't pull their weight. I will have that conversation with them and say, unfortunately, you will not be able to join us on this but I want you to try harder, and I'm doing this out of love. It is not because we don't like you. It's because I cannot necessarily reward bad behavior, or the person will have some sort of other elements of a reward, but not necessarily what was stated or given. But I just don't, or I can't reward that kind of behavior. So the moment I see that maybe I'm paying for a course and you're not taking it, or I'm paying for something and you're not doing it, cut.
Yeah. So we are seeing that. And then, I just hope that people get the message, and then they can do a lot better.
I think it's the good apples trying to find the good apples.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And there's no formula here, unfortunately. You don't know where you're going to get your good staff. You don't know. There's I've tried HR firms, I've tried, word of mouth, I've tried social media. There is no formula to finding your people. It's trial and error.
Yes.
Absolutely. So from there, you're just trying to find your good apple.
Yeah, definitely. Back to the topic.
Yes.
Your business seems to be around you. You are the business. Now, how can you make sure that if you are not in the picture, that business still survives?
That's a question that I asked myself 2 years ago, actually. Now, first of all, I was fighting this model of the business being surrounded by me. I was actually fighting it because I was like, I didn't want to be so depended on. I didn't want to be the main person. But then I looked at other beauty business models with a similar model to mine and tried to figure out how does it work for them. And I ultimately decided that I didn't want to fight the grain. People loved my presence being a part of the brand. So what systems in place do I have, or can I build that will allow me to still live my life, but still show up for the brand? So there's the classic strategies of batch creating content, or whatever you're doing for your brand, doing it in batches so that you can totally focus on that one element of marketing that you know your people love and need. Now, once that's done, then you can now focus on the other areas of the business that also equally need you, whether it's finance, whether it's inventory, whether it's your growth strategy, fulfillment. So compartmentalizing your time really, really helped and still does help to this day. I have also diversified the team and the people that show up in online. So whereas it may seem like it's still majority me, it's gone from maybe 80% to about 60%.
Right.
So slowly but surely, including other people into the brand, other talents from various different aspects of our community. But still, again, doing my creation of content that will still allow people to still feel connected to me through the brand.
Okay, it's beautiful. I asked that question. It's very important because we are seeing a lot of Black businesses.
Oh, yeah.
And when the owner is not here, the business is gone.
Hey! And I travel a lot. So I definitely have systems.
I'm even thinking of the worst case of death. You know, can the business survive? Right? And I'm very deliberate with the things I do for my businesses.
Yeah.
You know, I sit here, I've got a business in the UK, my business partner is taking care of it very well.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to be around.
Yeah.
You know, if I need to be in a meeting, I'm in a meeting. You know, sometimes a week, 2, I haven't been to the pharmacy here.
Yeah.
You know, and things are moving, I'm monitoring things from here. So there are certain things that we have to be very careful with because we're in the era where we're creating businesses, creating, enterprises, but we also have to be mindful of what protecting the businesses. Systems.
100%. Because I travel a lot. In fact, people don't know when I'm in the country and when I'm out of the country.
It's good.
Right. And I love that about it. But my team, we have, again, the systems, making sure everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing, how that's supposed to be reported, how they are judged on their performance. And that has really helped. Plus, cameras, meetings, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Amazing. When you came to Ghana, you went back to the UK.
Yes.
And then you came back again. Why did you go back and then why did you come back?
This is where my testimony, my real life-changing testimony comes in. Unfortunately, in January of 2017, I got into an incredibly serious car accident. And it was one where it was mainly my injuries were internal. And I didn't have a choice of what hospital I went to. I didn't have a choice of my treatments of what I thought was best. And it was just a very crazy and scary time. If I was to list off a few of my injuries, 4 cracked ribs, punctured lung, my small intestine completely burst, cracked backbone. I mean, the list goes on. I had to learn how to, in my recovery, it was that deep. I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to eat again. I had to learn everything, how to dress myself again, everything. And it was just an incredibly challenging time where the accident happened here. My then boyfriend, now husband, came here with my mum. We made a decision by any means necessary to get me back to the UK, where I had to have a series of operations, recover, and then some may say I'm absolutely crazy, but I came back.
Yeah. When you were leaving, did you have a business here?
I did. And I was annoyed because my business was really growing. And I feel like I lost out on a lot of growth within that sweet spot of time. So that's what is actually irritating me more than the accident, is that I missed out on that growth. That's what annoys me.
Have you fully recovered?
Fully recovered. And to be honest, nobody would ever tell unless I tell them my testimony. And I said, I'm really God's walking miracle.
Wow. Sorry I had to go through that, man.
I don't know why I had to go through it. I questioned God about it several times, but it is what it is. And no, I still don't know. I still don't have those answers. But I tell you what, my level of gratitude after that went up. I didn't even know how many times. The fact that I can walk, the fact that I can even wear my heels, the fact that I came back to a functioning business. After a year and a half out, I came back to a functioning business. And that's when I knew that this was above me.
Yeah.
This was above me. So I have to come back and finish what I started. I had to.
So, you're married now.
Yes.
And you mentioned in the beginning that, your boyfriend at the time, now your husband, was not exactly sure about you moving to Ghana.
Yeah.
How's he feeling now?
He's very proud of me. He's very supportive.
Yeah, put a smile on my face.
Yeah, see, he is incredible. He's allowed me to live my dream. And it's not necessarily allow. It's when I say allow, it means with no hindrance.
He's happy for you.
He's extremely happy for me. And he's the first person to, when we're in the meeting, oh, my wife, she does this. Oh, my wife, she does that. And he's in a very demanding, busy job that takes him around the world to travel. But he never has said anything outside of, Steph, go and accomplish your dreams. What more can you ask for in a partner?
Yeah. Well, you keep going, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've done amazing.
Thank you so
You've
much.
done fantastic. And you know what God took you through? If you haven't gotten the reason why, you probably get it later.
Yeah.
There's always a reason.
But until then,
Yeah.
I'm just extremely grateful that I was given a second chance, essentially. I should not be here. I should not be sitting here.
Yeah.
You look at the car, you look at the injuries, I should not be here. But I am. And so I have to honor this second chance and give it my best shot.
Were you the one driving at the time?
No, not at all. I was asleep in the back of the car, being driven home. Yeah.
What key lessons have you learned from business so far?
Ooh. The key lessons, in no particular order. Resilience is your best friend. However it shows up for you, whether it's you making sure that you work hard, you always finding solutions, you find a different way to pivot into a new business. Resilience and you should be best friends in business. Number 2, remain humble. Remain humble. Because if you do not remain humble, business will find a way to humble you. So understand why you are doing it. And I tell my staff this all the time. We may have a name for the beauty brand here, but that doesn't mean nothing. You still treat these customers like they are the first customer that we have. You still treat these customers with the absolute respect. You talk to them because without them, there is no us. So that humility that keeps you grounded and keeps you pushing and keeps you innovative in business is so key. Is to really try and understand what systems and processes you need in place as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Now, the journey of an entrepreneur, you usually get to a point of frustration where you're trying to scale before you will now look at these these things where you're like, oh my God, I'm trying so hard. Nothing is moving, nothing is happening. And yet at the same time, I can't do everything by myself. That's conundrum is where you need processes and you need systems. Now, if you need to go back to the books to learn, if you need to go learn from someone, do what you need to do in order to allow your business to thrive and to survive.
That was a good one. that was a good one. You know, what you were thinking before, the reason why you left your corporate job to start this business, are you getting the answers? Is it solving those desires you had initially to start this business after many years of doing that business?
No, because I believe the mission is an ongoing one. It's actually a never-ending one. Because I thought that I was just coming to fill a gap and provide affordable luxury beauty. But when I understood community, impact, what the brand was actually doing for women, I realized it was way bigger than that. And that is something that will completely grow because we have a lot of self-esteem growing to do.
Okay.
As Black people as a whole.
Yes.
We don't realize who we are. We're always looking for outside inspiration.
Yeah.
Whereas we are the blueprints. So that impact, which actually has an impact in different homes. Because when you impact a woman's self-esteem, her home changes positively. So it is so much bigger than what I initially thought.
Okay.
And so whereas, yes, I am still providing these amazing tools and we're expanding into new different products, etc. But the underlying reason that has kept me here and kept the business growing and kept my passion and my drive is way deeper than just products.
Indeed, it's way deeper than products. If you've been listening and you've gotten this far, stick with us. Leave a comment below. Let me understand what you think so far about this conversation. Again, you know, there's always that question that we ask and it lowers the mood a little bit. Then we try to pick it back up again. Motivation or discipline?
Motivation or discipline? I think two are needed at different times or different stages. I can't answer that blanket. There'll be a stage of your entrepreneurship journey where discipline is more important, and there'll be a stage of your entrepreneurship journey where motivation is more important.
Okay. You got the answer here. Now, I asked this question and people don't really understand why I asked this last question, this question, the best advice you ever received. But anytime I've asked it, it's actually for me myself, it's the notes that I make. Right? It's the notes that like, because I pick it up from the guests and I'm like, okay, I want to have that too.
The best
advice you ever received.
I've ever received. I might need a minute. The best advice I've ever received.
Everyone does, not just you.
Wow. To be honest, I think it comes down to 4 words. Whether it's you saying it to yourself or someone that you believes in you saying it to you, it can give a burst of energy. And that's, you can do it.
Indeed.
You can do it.
Yeah. I've enjoyed this conversation, like I always do, right? I don't put a guest here because I don't enjoy what they're doing and I don't think that I'm not going to enjoy that conversation. But I've enjoyed it. You know, I've learned some things that I didn't know. Now, I have a last question, but I think she's already answered that. When I asked her the key lessons that she's learned so far, I think she answered that question. And that question is, anything for my audience?
Oh, I would say to the audience listening that they are part of a movement that they need to be aware of. African business owners speaking to one another, learning from one another, growing. This is a movement. They need to be very conscious of that and participate in whatever way they can. Whether it's patronizing the brands here, whether it's starting their own brands that they've been sitting on for a while, you need to participate in this movement. Things are changing. You want to be a part of that change. So that's what I would say to them.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that, but that was very good. That was very good. And hence, connected minds. Look, if you have any idea, you have any hunch, or I don't know, you feel some way about you want to start a business, just get it done. Because like we said in this conversation, we don't know what we're doing. We're all trying. So let's carry on and try. And on that process, you'll find somebody that knows a little bit better than you do, and they might help you one way or the other, especially our Ghanaian youth. Let's see how this goes. But if you've been listening, thank you so much for being part of the family. And my name is Derek Abaite. I'm probably your favorite pharmacist. I'm out. Stay connected.